Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today I am sharing with you possibly the most ridiculous energy card that we have ever had in the Pokemon trading card game. Not trying to be a clickbait title, ladies and gentlemen. This is utterly ridiculous. Now, up till now, possibly the most ridiculous card we've had in terms of special energy card would be Scramble Energy. Scramble Energy is any free energy as long as it is attached to an evolved Pokemon that is not a Pokemon EX. And you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. This is an old card, hasn't been legal for ages. But Scramble Energy was any free energy if attached to an evolved non-EX and you were behind on prizes. We had double Rainbow Energy a while back, which could only be attached to an evolved non-EX, was every 2 type of energy, but any damage you did was reduced by 10. More recently, we've had Counter Energy, which is any 2 energy, if attached to a non-EX, non-GX, and you're behind on prizes. And let's give a little bit of love to Rainbow Energy, which of course allowed you to just have any energy of one kind, and Prism Energy, which was fairly similar, except it could only be attached to a basic Pokemon. Now you might be thinking, hang on a second, Ross, what is going to be more ridiculous than Scramble Energy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Super Boost Energy. It is a Prism Star card, and it provides 4 of any type of energy. That's right, they finally went and did it. 4 of any type of energy. Now, there's got to be some caveats here, and ladies and gentlemen, there are so many caveats. It must be attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon. You must have 3 or more Stage 2 Pokemon in play. Now, like a lot of these, it generally just provides 1 colorless energy. But if it is attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon, it is basically a Rainbow Energy. It provides every type of energy, but only 1 at a time. So it's basically like a Rainbow Energy without the damage counter when you attach it to a Stage 2. Unless you have 3 or more Stage 2 in play, at which point it provides every type of energy, but only 4 energy at a time. This, ladies and gentlemen, is frankly ridiculous, but it's kind of ridiculous both ways. On the one hand, providing 4 of any kind of energy is completely over the top. On the other hand, it's got to be on a Stage 2. You've got to have 2 other Stage 2s in play. Oh yeah, and it's a Prism Star card, which means you can only have 1 copy of Super Boost Energy in your deck. And if it gets discarded, it goes to the lost zone from which it cannot be recovered. There will be no special charge, ladies and gentlemen, when you're using this deck. It's not happening, it's gone forever. But like I said with my Darkrai Prism Star card earlier today, if you play a Professor Sycamore when this is in your hand, not only does it get discarded, but it's gone for the entire game. You can't have it back, which makes it very, very risky to play. Although, let's be clear, if you're playing a Stage 2 deck that plays multiple Stage 2s, of course you're playing 1 copy of this. It is a complete and utter no-brainer. But we've got a lot of special energy hate in the format at the moment, and this is a special energy card. So if anything like a Drampa GX comes down, it gets put into the lost zone rather than discarded. It's not coming back. If the Jirachi promo, now this has seen a huge dip in play lately, but people might play it maybe in Greninja decks later on, and you know what? The second Jirachi discards it, not only do they get immunity for a turn, but your Super Boost Energy, and I love the name of that, I really hope it's called that when it gets translated, goes into the lost zone, you can't get it back. It turns Enhanced Hammer into a Lost Remover. Lost Remover was the old Enhanced Hammer, it put it into the lost zone rather than the discard pile. And let's not forget that Kartana GX is a thing nowadays. It's got an ability which is just an Enhanced Hammer, but this goes into the lost zone. This is a huge risk-reward card. Play a Sycamore, gone forever. Your opponent plays any special energy hate, gone forever. You don't get 3 stage 2s on the field, it's useless. But it's kind of like a double Dragon Energy, if you can get it working. Double Dragon Energy was ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, preposterously ridiculous. And this is 2 of them in a single card. As a side note, if you do want to search this out, you can do so, but you've got to use something like an Energy Lotto. There is no card that just allows you to search for special energy at the moment. You could always use something like a Mallow to put it on top of your deck, and then use a Zoroark GX to draw it. That would be fine, but you can't just plain search for it like you could use an Ultra Ball to search for a Pokemon. So the real question is here, what decks do we play this in? Now, there is one deck which absolutely jumps to mind as, how could you allow this? What are you doing? And it's Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a stage 2 Pokemon, so it can be used, and there's nothing in the card. Now, I didn't translate it myself. Like I said, that was Pokebeach.com. However, you can see that the word GX is not in here at all. There is no GX thing going on here. So we're good in that respect. Yeah, can be attached to a GX. But it's got to be a stage 2. Gardevoir. Gardevoir is often played with Gallade, and in a lot of games your aim is to get at least 2 Gardevoir, 1 Gallade. This is a deck that aims to get multiple stage 2s out. And of course, Infinite Force does 30 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. Super Boost Energy comes down. Counts as 4 energy. This one card will allow you to do 120 damage. Then, of course, you've got Secret Spring that can be used to put it up to 150. Then Choice Band, you're hitting 180 in a single turn. But, of course, you actually need 2 Gardevoir out and a Gallade in order to use this. So, again, we're asking a lot. But let's say you've got 2 Gardevoir and a Gallade out, something which Gardevoir decks do get going quite a lot. Double Secret Spring, Super Boost Energy, Choice Band, you're doing 210 damage, and that's assuming your opponent has no energy on them, and you started the turn with no energy on you. That's enough to KO something like a Zoroark or a Golisopod straight off the bat. Now, there are some Stage 2 decks that see a little bit of play, which just aren't going to use this at all. Vikavolt isn't going to use this. It's played with Tapu Bulu, but generally you get 1 Vikavolt out. If you want to show off, you might get a second Vikavolt out. Either way, you're never going to use this, which is just a teensy bit sad. But the real question is, could you use this to make previously rubbish Pokemon viable again? And the answer is yes, if you can get it working. So we'll talk about the huge downsides in a minute. Let's give you a couple of examples to show you how extreme Super Boost Energy could go. Kommo-o GX. The GX attack for Kommo-o GX is great, but incredibly expensive. 240 damage. You whack a Choice Band, you're 1-hit KOing anything. But it's for a lightning, fighting, and a double colourless. Generally, we would have called this a double dragon and a double colourless. Super Boost Energy, 1 energy attachment, 240 KOing anything. Sounds great, it is. But you're only able to play this once per game. Which means if your opponent drops an Enhanced Hammer, Kommo-o then has no energy on, and Adamantine Press is not a good attack. And you've got to have 2 other GXs on the field for Kommo-o GX to be able to use this. So are you playing a Kommo-o GX deck? Are you teching a Stage 2 Kommo-o into an existing deck? That's the big issue here. How about Charizard GX? Now, I rag on Charizard all the time because its first attack has an embarrassingly low amount of damage for free colourless energy on a Stage 2. But Crimson Storm, 300 damage for 5 energy. Or a basic fire and a super boost energy. and then you're doing 300 damage. Now you have to then discard free energy, which is basically the super boost energy, which means this is a once per game attack, but once per game doing 300 and it's not your GX attack. Well, that I can get on board with. But again, and this really hurts super boost energy in terms of being techie. You can only use one in your deck, and when it gets discarded, it goes to the lost zone. And you need 2 other stage 2s on the field. So, in order to use this, you've got to be playing multiple stage 2s. And there's a whole bunch of cool stuff like Kommo-o and Charizard, where if this was just a new special energy, it would be amazing. Kommo-o would actually be potentially viable. Charizard could be a good deck. But the problem is, as soon as you've used it once, that's it. And what are you going to do? Are you going to play a Kommo-o deck? Are you going to take a Kommo-o into a stage 2? I said this before, but it's such a big point here. This card could be absolutely amazingly game-breaking if you can get it working. But as a once-per-game energy that you need 3 stage 2s out to use, there's so many games you're not going to use it. I'm going to give it 4 Wassies. But really, it's either a 5 Wassie card or a 1 Wassie card. If you get 3 stage 2s out and you've got an expensive Pokemon like Gardevoir on the field, this is about the best card ever. It's basically broken. Your opponent will hate you for playing such a great card. But there's so many games, even where you play it, there's going to be so many games where you play a Sycamore and then you can't use it. Or where you only ever get 2 stage 2s out at once and you can never use it. It's going to be a frustrating card, but you know a lot of people are going to try it. That alone makes me think 4 Wassies. But as always, I want to know about you guys. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, etc., you can do so by going to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.